Hi, I'm Daria, and today I'm gonna show you how to knit a neck warmer. Welcome back to DaryaCrochetLife. On this channel, I share simple step-by-step knitting and crochet tutorials, so you can create beautiful handmade projects. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced crafter, there is something here for everyone. Let's get started. Here you can see all the materials and tools that we'll need for today's tutorial. So first of all, let's talk about yarn. Today I'm going to use two types of yarn, and I will work with two strands held together, but it's optional. You can use whatever yarn you want. So my first yarn is this one. I found it in my stash, and I was making a hat many years ago. Now I have like just 100-gram leftover. I really like this yarn because it has little sparkles. Okay, and I'm so glad I didn't throw away the label. So this is the label. The yarn's name is Odin Wools by Knit Crate, Twinkle DK. I don't know if this yarn still exists, but as I said, you can take whatever yarn you want. But let me tell you what this yarn is made of. It is 80% merino wool, 10% cashmere, and 10% stellina. So this stellina, I think that that's the thing that makes it sparkle. So in 100-gram ball, we have 250 yards, and that should be enough for a neck warmer. Yeah, and here I can see information on how to take care. So I will hand wash it only and dry it flat, like all of my knits. All right, we don't have information on what needle size to use, but I already made a little swatch and I know what kind of size to use. So if you're gonna use different yarns, so you will stick with the size of the needles that is recommended on your label, or you can experiment and take several needles and try and pick the one that you really like. Okay, so then I found this yarn. This yarn is discontinued, but you can take any kid mohair. So this is 60% kid mohair, 40% silk from Shibui. So this is very old skein, and someone gave it to me. I don't even remember who, but it's very nice kid mohair. I really like it because it's matching my main color. So these two will work perfectly together. Okay, so that's yarn. I'm gonna use 4mm needles, and you will need circular needles because we will work in rounds. And then these kind of tools always handy. So we will need measuring tape, we will need scissors, we will need a stitch marker to mark the beginning of the row, and we will need tapestry needle to weave in ends at the end. All right, let's do some calculations. So first of all, let me show you the shape of the neck warmer we are going for. It's gonna be just simple cylinder, something like that. And we need two measurements. The first one is measurement A, that's the circumference of our neck warmer, and measurement B will be the length. So for measurement A, I decided to go with 60 centimeters because average adult head circumference is about 56, 57, or mine is 58 centimeters. So, and I decided to go a little bit, like to add a little bit more centimeters for more relaxed fit. So if you're doing it for a kid, let's say the kid head circumference is 45 centimeters, so you can go with 47, 48 centimeters easily. And measurement B, I'll put question mark because I want to use my whole ball, and then I'll stop whenever my yarn would be over. So you can decide yourself how tall you want your cylinder to be. Okay, after that, we need to figure out what is our gauge. So you need to make a swatch and measure how many stitches you have in 10 centimeters. Or you can just look at the yarn label and just take that one, because that's all right, even if it's a little bit bigger or smaller than your actual gauge would be. That's all right for this project, it's not a big deal. So I figure out my gauge and I have 18 stitches in 10 centimeters. So now I need to find how many stitches I have in 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter equals, and you just take this 18 and you divide it by 10 and you will have 1.8 stitches. So now it's very easy. You take your 60 centimeters, this measurement, times 1.8 stitches, and that's gonna be 108 stitches. So that's the number we should go with at the very beginning, but we need to look at our pattern, and our pattern requires us to have the total number of stitches that should be divisible by 5. So I cannot go with 108. I will bring it down a little bit, so I will go with 105 stitches. So that's my beginning number. Please let me know in the comments if that's not clear, so I will try explain it a little bit more. All right, let's start knitting. So first of all, we need to cast on. And you see, I already have 2 strands together. So I just put them together. And I'm gonna use long tail cast on method just because it's very easy for me. I like it. So you can use whatever cast on you like. I don't really care. So I'm leaving a long tail. Then I need to do a slip knot. And when you do, if you want to do the same long tail cast on method, so put 2 needles together into the loop, and when you'll cast on, do it with 2 needles held together. And another little trick, so always put the short end, this is the short end, over your thumb and cast on. Make sure that the yarn is not going between your needles. So I will cast on 105 stitches. Okay, so I have my 105 stitches casted on. So now you need to make a simple knot here at the end with this short end and working yarn. And just pull it. You know why I do simple knot? Because look at this. All of my stitches, they have, it's a stitch and a knot at the bottom, stitch and a knot at the bottom. And it was all of them except for the last one. So now even the last one has its knot. All right, so now let's take one of the needles. Okay, where are you? Yep. So here it goes. We will work in rounds, but I don't like to start working in rounds from the very beginning. So my first round, I always work flat. I don't join it right away. I just work it flat like normal. So, and in the first round, you should do this sequence. So we start with 1 purl stitch, and then you need to do 4 knit stitches. And you repeat it to the end. 1 purl, 4 knit, 1 purl, and then 4 knit stitches. One purl, and then 4 knit stitches. So work like this to the end, and it doesn't matter what kind of style you're using, English, continental, you just do 1 purl and then 4 knit stitches. Okay, I finished my first row, so that's what I have for now. You couldn't see pattern yet. All right, so after this row, I have to join my work in rounds. So be careful, don't twist it. Make sure that everything is straight. And because my wire is not that long, but I still have some extra wire over here, so that's why I'm gonna do this little trick. I'm not gonna use magic loop method, I will use traveling magic loop or traveling needle method. So what does that mean? I need to put so my working yarn is on this needle, but I need to bring these stitches to the needle tip. So this guy is moving a little bit like that. Okay, so that's what you should have. Your working yarn is not on the needle end. Then you kind of put it closer and you create a loop like this. So hold it tight and create a loop like that. Second row, we always begin with 2 purl stitches. So I'll bring the working yarn to the front and I do my first purl and second purl stitch. So no worries if you feel like over here it's a little it's a gap. We will fix it at the very end. All right, so now you need to repeat this sequence. So you will do 2 knit stitches and then 3 purl. And you repeat this 2 knit, 3 purl to the end, but at the end you will finish with just 1 purl, because remember we started with 2 purls already. So let me show you again. We do 2 knit, 3 purl, 2 knit, and then 3 purl. So you work like this until it's not comfortable to hold your work anymore this way, and after that you do this little trick. So you take your right needle and you pull it to get rid of this loop completely, and you create another loop like this. So you see I'm kind of folding the needle and I keep going. Okay, so after that I do another purl and then 3 knit. Oh, 2 knit, sorry. So 2 knit, 3 purl, and you work like this to the end. But if that would be helpful, okay, let me stop. You can put the marker. Let's put marker over here. That will show us the beginning of the row. So that's where I did my first 2 purls, and I'm gonna put marker over there. To be honest, I don't really like to use marker because I always have this like beginning yarn end that's showing me the beginning of the row, but it's easy to have a marker. So especially if you're not very comfortable with knitting, use your beginning of the row marker. I'm at the end of the second row and I do my last 2 knit stitches, then my last purl stitch. Like I said, we finish with just 1 purl. Then I slip the marker from one needle to another, and we're going back to row 1. So this pattern is very easy. You just repeat row 1 and 2 to the very end. So let me remind you what was row 1. We do 1 purl stitch and then 4 knit stitches. 1 purl stitch and then 4 knit stitches. So you work like this to the end. Okay, and then I'm at the end of the third round, so don't forget to slip the marker. And our fourth round would be exactly the same as our second round. So we start with 2 purl stitches, and then we do our pattern 2 knit, 3 purl, 2 knit, 3 purl. So you need to work like this until you reach your desired length, or If you like me and you want just to work your whole yarn ball, so stop when you will have, like, you need to stop at the beginning of the row, and the remaining end should be, let's say, 4 circumferences of your neck warmer. And I'll see you over there, and I'll show you how to cast off your stitches. All right, so this is what I have right now. My main yarn is almost over. So I measured and I have like about 4 times circumference. And I decided that's it. I don't think I have enough yarn to do one more row. So, and I don't even care what row I stopped. I actually stopped with the row that is 2 knit, 3 purl, 2 knit, 3 purl, but it doesn't really matter. So, okay, let me just tell you how big is my piece, and it's very rough because it's before blocking. So it's around, yeah, I'm not stretching, and it's around 16 inches or 41-ish centimeters. So I think that would be enough. This is pretty long for the neck warmer. So now we have to bind off our stitches, and that's it. Okay, so we need to pre-cut the yarn that is 3 times longer than the circumference. All right, so I have to cut it here. Don't leave too long of a tail, then it will be tangling all the time and it won't be very comfortable to work with. Okay, so then you need to take your tapestry needle, thread this yarn end through the tapestry needle, and we are ready to bind off. Okay, I can get rid of this marker. I don't need it anymore. So this bind off is very, very easy. It is just 2 steps. So step number 1, you go and you insert your tapestry needle through first 2 stitches as if to purl, like this, and you pull it through. Okay, don't pull too much. It shouldn't be like super tight. Second step, you go through the first stitch as if to knit, and you slip it off and pull through. That's it. Now you repeat these 2 steps all around. So go through first 2 as if to purl, pull through, and then through the first one as if to knit and slip it off. Don't pull too much. That's the only thing, because if you pull too much, then this bind off won't be stretchy. Okay, and as if to knit. So work like this all around, and I'll see you at the end of this round, and I'll show you how to close it. Okay, I'm at the end of this row, and I have 2 stitches left, so I do my last steps. Okay, and when you have just 1 stitch left, so what should we do? We can go, because we have to join it into circle, right? Because we were working in rounds. So I go and I pull my needle to the other side, my knitting needle. Okay, and I have to pick, so this is my last stitch, and I need to pick and put on this needle the closest loop. And I think it's this one. Like when we start working around, so this is the first that we did for our bind off. And now I have 2 loops, and I'll pull my needle again to this side, and I'll finish my step. So I do one more time through both as if to purl, and I slip this one, and I actually can slip the other one because I already binded off that, and that's it. So that's how the edge looks like. So now we can weave in ends. You need to find any loop that is very close to your yarn end. Let's say this one, doesn't really matter which one. You go under that loop, pull it through, but you see I leave my index finger over there because I want this loop to stay open. And then I insert my needle into that loop and then I tighten that. So now I have a knot over here and everything would be okay. It will not go down. So now let's weave in ends into our work. Try to find the closest loop to your yarn end and insert your needle under that loop and pull it through. And repeat it several times. Your only goal is to find the closest loop. Don't jump too far because that will create ugly floats. And it's good when you change your direction. So I went a little bit down, now I go to the left. And if you change direction 3 times, that's more than enough. So now I want to go, no, maybe a little bit more this way. Okay, let's go up. And I think that's enough. So stretch it all, make sure that you don't see your what you were weaving in, and then you can take scissors and cut the excess yarn. And you have to do the same thing with all yarn ends. Right now I have my beginning yarn end, and if you remember, we did our first row straight. We didn't work it in rounds. So that's why over here we have this little opening. And right now, when we start weaving in, we can close it a little bit. You see, this is my knot, the beginning knot, and I can go under that knot and pull it and go back to where I am right now and do the security knot. And that's how I join it. You see, now the edge is closed, and I'm going to weave in the same way like I showed you before. All right, so I've weaved in all the yarn ends. Next step would be to wash it. I don't think you need to block it, like to pin it. I think just washing it and drying it flat would be more than enough. The stitches will like stretch and it will look absolutely beautiful. But I just want to show you how it looks before washing, and then I'll show you the final result as well. And real quick, look at this pattern. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side. I don't even know which side I like more. The wrong side looks really cool as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more crochet and knitting ideas, and let me know if you have any questions on how to knit this neck warmer. Happy knitting, and I'll see you next time.